Welcome to Pitch in the Zone, the place where a couple of coaches gather and help presenters with their 3-minute pitches. Today we are a small, intimate group of coaches. We have Nathan Gold from California. We have Scotty Spursum, also from California, lots of experience in the startup world and a language specialist. And then we have Hai Ban. He was here 2 weeks ago pitching himself. And of course, he sees the value of being on the other side as well, because there is a lot of learning in observing. And our presenter today is none other than Marco. If you've been following the Pitch in the Zone, you know him already as one of the coaches. He's been in every single meeting so far. And today he's taking into the zone. He's going to present a investor pitch. Marco, welcome to the Pitch Zone.
Thank you. Let me start sharing the screen, of course.
Sure. Set up whatever you need to do. All right. So now your audience, Marco, are investors, right?
Yes.
So all of us coaches put on our investor hats and view the presentation that Marco is going to give from that angle. Having said that,
could I just ask a specific question, please?
Please do.
Yes.
What type of investor are you looking for? Angel, VC, institutional, friends, family, followers? That way we get a sense for what level you're shooting at.
Angel and or VC.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. In that case, Marco, the zone is yours.
Thank you. Have you ever been in the romantic Venice? If not, how would you book your flight? I guess using one of the many comparison websites. And what about accommodation? Well, I guess it's going to be either Airbnb or yet again, one of the many comparison websites. And suppose you want to do a gondola tour. How would you book it? Well, there is Viator.com from TripAdvisor. There is Musement. There is Lizair. There is Tickets. The problem with these websites is that they try to open windows, pop-ups, tabs, and it's pretty confusing. And then when you find your tour, there's no way to compare it to others, or maybe to find the same one cheaper somewhere else. Well, welcome to TripGuided.com. On this website, you just type your city, Venice in our case, and we will show you the most popular tours in that city in all those 4 websites. Then you can key in a keyword like gondola in our case, and you will see all the gondola tours in those 4 websites. Of course, the details, you can see the reviews, you can see similar tours, but they are all in a single place, ready to be compared just there. Very simple, very easy. So how is TripGuided.com doing on social media? We have more than 2,000 real followers on Twitter. We have more than 50,000 real followers on Facebook. And if we put together all the likes, shares, and views, we reached more than 1 million people already. How do we make money? Well, it's commission-based, of course. For each and every booking, we get between 4 and 10% of the full price. Not only that, if you go to any of those 4 websites after maybe 1 or 2 days, we still get the full commission up to 30 days later. Furthermore, we're also working with local businesses so that we can provide advertisement of the city that you're looking for. So what are we looking for? Well, first of all, as you can guess, for the virus to go away. And most of all, for some investors so that we can make TripGuided.com become the #1 website for tours and activities. And what are you waiting for? Well, type your city in TripGuided.com. I am sure you can find some fabulous and unexpected result in your city. And why not book one? I will stay here waiting for your commission. Thank you.
All right.
It was 3 minutes and 12 seconds, but yeah.
Excellent. Marco, thank you very much. Can you stop sharing the screen?
Oh, yes. I was thinking it was going away automatically, but
no.
Okay.
All right. This was actually very, very good. You came a little bit long, as you told me before. You have that at 3 minutes and 13 seconds, so a little bit over. I think if you need to find some space to tighten it up a little bit, it probably might be at the very beginning, because it took you about a minute or so to really, cover what is the current issue. Might get to that a little faster. But let me start with Nathan today. Because
okay.
Marco, you and I, we know each other fairly well, right? So for me, it's different. So Nathan has heard this now for the very first time. Nathan, what are your observations? And don't feel you need to rush today, because we don't have too many coaches on the call. So go deep, go thorough.
All right. I'll pick 3 out of my list, and then I'll go to the other coaches, and then if there's still time, I'll give you more, and if there's not enough time, be happy to get back on with you and debrief all the way like I would with a typical client, or actually not a typical client, one that I really like and want to work with.
Thank you.
First of all, I just want to give an applause to Claudio for all these weeks, Claudio. I've been so impressed with the way you've started out the session from the formal time when we start. You're like, you own the MC role, and it's not just for us online, obviously, as you can see that we're talking here, but it's super great stuff for the long tail use of these videos when people come back to watch and learn in the years to come. So awesome work there. I like how it's all come together in the last about 10 weeks, 8-10 weeks. Okay, so all right, Massimo. I agree with Claudio 100%. You could take that whole opening and make it 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Why? Because in a pitch that's this short, it's not to get a standing ovation. It's to persuade the investor to give you more time, ask you questions, refer you, or hopefully say no rather than maybe, right? So in your case, I felt like the opening story, while it will work beautifully on stage when you're competing kind of thing, in this case, it took too long and the investor will lose kind of a little bit of interest. And I even was saying, okay, I get it. Yep, we all booked. We have, now we're in tours, okay. And if it's about tours, kind of what happened before that almost was not relevant for this kind of a pitch. So what I'm suggesting to you here is chuck that whole opening in a way, or compress it down to literally 15 seconds. And I loved your opening slide, but I didn't like the question. In a case with investors, not with the typical public partners, customers, would you like to go, or that was a yes, no question, right? Have you ever booked a flight to blah? A yes, no question is probably not a great way to start, because there are people in the world that are going to go against you just because they want to, and it's in their head and you don't know it. So I would restructure that opening to something along the lines of, I don't know about you, but if you have, I'm going to throw words out. If you've ever gone to the internet to book a tour in a place like Venice, in a beautiful place like Venice, I don't think I need to really tell you what you're faced with, if anything. It's a mess. It's a nightmare, as all of you, and you put up the screen with hundreds of tabs. Just put that screen up. That's enough. I don't think the whole story was needed. That's all. and then you can get right to what you do. Now, are you planning to add more than 4? Or is 4 kind of the number?
Yeah. We're planning to add more than 4. And actually, we're also adding new sections like transportation, section that we can get in, like we cannot compete in
Great.
hotels and flights, of course. So things that
Okay.
are not crowded yet.
Great. And this is specifically for tour kind of bookings, correct?
Yes, we started with that, but we're already working on the transportation too.
But it's good to focus on one thing for investors, especially angels. With VCs, they might be a little bit more open to you doing many things, but for right now, focus on the tours, blow that out as far as you can, get that market validation, and then go from there. So what website advertises all around the world that's very similar to what you've just described to me, but for a different market? Do you know?
Well, there are plenty, I guess.
Sorry?
Well, there are plenty of them, I guess.
Yeah.
And
which is the one that has spent the most money to help you? You know, when other people spend millions and millions of dollars to advertise, and then you come along and you're doing something like kind of like what they're doing, you could just say, hey, we do something just like them. Oh, really? Wow. So I'm looking for that simile so you can bump up the value of what you're doing. So what company is doing it? Trivago. Trivago. When you're looking for a hotel, do you go to all the hotel sites? Oh, what a nightmare. Trivago does it for you. Look at how they're talking about what they're doing, because they literally aggregate all the hotels. And that is what you're doing. So before I turn it over to the other coaches, you didn't mention that once, but you are literally an aggregator. Yeah, and then you add value on top. And investors love that. Why do they love that? Well, if you are one of those 4 and you go out of business and you're the one they invested in, oh, you're dead. But if they invest in you and one of those 4 go out of business, they're still alive. So being an aggregator means you can plug different things in, take them out, add new services, but you're the aggregator. So that part of your presentation, I bumped that part of it up in terms of what you're doing. For an investor, when you're talking to partners and customers, that's different. So that's what I got for you. I have more, but let's go on to the other coaches. And by the way, I love how you present. Your how is really dialed in. I'm kind of pounding on the content today. But
sure, well, thank you. If there's something I've no experience is really pitching to investors. It's my first virtual one. So,
well, 2 thumbs up.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And I've known Marco now for a couple of years, and we've gotten together in the presenter world somehow. And the progress that I have seen over the last just one and a half years is astonishing, because you're really getting that excitement that you carry for your own solution. You get that across, even on a screen, and that that is not an easy thing to do.
No.
Hi, you have been in that seat before. We've also had a session in between. Now you have a lot of knowledge already about pitching and you know, what to do, what not to do. What did you observe, Hai? And what kind of tips do you have for Marco to improve this good speech and make it even greater?
Hi. Actually, this is my first time to be on this side as a coach, observer. But I love the picture. Venice is one of my on the list for travel eventually someday. So I love it. You know, it caught my attention on that. And also, actually, I'm also working in the same space, right? I'm building an app for travel. So what Marco talked about is, I understand, I get all of that. You know, I get all of that. And I associate what he has is similar to like Trivago or like Kayak, but for
Kayak
touring,
is another one, right?
For touring at the industry, I guess. When I go to Kayak or Trivago before, mainly just for me is to search for hotel. But I get that for touring, which is very good. I think it's something that is interested for the industry. And I can see, you know, I can follow the presentation clearly. But I didn't get the ask at the end, I guess, or maybe I didn't get enough time to jot it down. So that's maybe something that I didn't get. But otherwise, you know, overall, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. So on the ask, what were you missing? Were you looking for a specific number, or what to do next as a next step? Which one?
Yeah, about. I guess it needs to be specific. Either you ask for a number or you ask for an accent, or maybe, you know, you ask, since we are testing here, you know, maybe ask could be very specific, you know, maybe a feedback or something today or something.
Okay, so a very specific call.
Yeah, very
action.
specific. So
Yeah.
so then the, you know, the people know what to do with it. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Hi, and Scotty, you've been taking lots of notes over there. So you have so much experience, not only with investors, but also working with people for whom English isn't the first language, isn't a native language. So I'm really, really looking forward to your feedback to Marco here as well, and perhaps a pointer or two as it also comes to, you know, the language in itself.
Thank you. Yeah. And Marco, I take notes on content also, just because I'm interested in what you're in the business and all what you're doing. Excuse me. So your voice actually sounded really good. You have a good flow. It sped up occasionally, and sometimes some words were a little bit tricky to hear, and especially the finishing sounds, like S's, a website versus websites, that kind of thing. Just you can be a little bit more crisp, maybe with some of the vocabulary. And in terms of the presentation and the flow, I agree with the opening. It could be stronger. And I also thought the close could be stronger. The ask I didn't get either, like hi. I wasn't really quite sure what the ask was, other than type in the name of my city and wait while you wait for my commission.
It was, yeah.
That's kind of what I got out of it. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know, I'm not sure that's why you wanted me to listen to that, or maybe that is why you wanted me to listen to that. But
Scotty, he might have been able to finish up that commission sort of joke at the end by saying, and so you and I can sit back and wait for the commissions to roll in.
Sure, good idea. Yeah.
And I'm looking for $500,000, you know, as we roll out our marketing campaigns to Asia or to Europe or to the Americas. You know, again, I didn't quite get that. Also, I typically when we've traveled, we've looked at, you know, TripAdvisor or Lonely Planet, because you get all sorts of reviews of things. And also the tourist bureaus have a lot of good information for tour guides. So I wasn't quite sure what exactly made your solution really the best solution. Like, why would I go to TripGuided as opposed to TripAdvisor?
Yeah, so basically what I tried to say, and probably I didn't spend too much time on that, was the fact that, first of all, this website is way cleaner, way easier to use. But the most important thing is that the other websites, being a single one, you only get one option and one price. You cannot compare them. Maybe the same tour, the same one as a cheaper price in the other engine, in the other website. Yeah.
Of course, I haven't been traveling for a while, so I haven't looked.
Well, you're not the only one, I guess.
Yeah. So, okay. No, again, that was one thing in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, why would I go here versus, you know, the ones that I've been using before? And just one word, just for you, because I'm a word person. So when we present in this virtual world, I thought I was hearing it with a long E. I was saying virtual, and veer has a whole different meaning. It's like to veer off the road. So it's actually like virtual. So we're having a virtual meeting. And again, it doesn't change. People will understand everything. It just gives this little hiccup sometimes to the audience, like, oh, that wasn't quite what I thought I was listening to. So, no, but I thought your visuals were great. You had a really good flow with your slides, which was lovely. A lot of the presentations haven't had any visuals, so that was really refreshing. So it was great.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, just to, well, tell everybody that's really the reason why maybe there was not a ask or a quantity at the end is because, again, I don't really, it's not my job. I only own 10% of the TripGuided.com, and I'm the software guy. But being in Toastmaster and being used to kind of do this kind of speeches, I wanted to, test myself and push some limits so I can learn more things. And, being pitching in the zone, I said, what better than here? So I told Claudio, please book me a slot and I will try once. And
I love it. I love the spirit about it. Now, the one thing that I was a little bit surprised I didn't hear from Scotty was one question. And that question is, why you, right? Because investors, they so much focus on the person and on the team, as much as on the actual solution. So that part to me didn't come out clearly. Like what makes you uniquely qualified to offer this solution? What is the expertise? What is the drive behind it? What's the why behind it, right? What is the reason that you guys got together and created this solution for a marketplace that already seems rather crowded, right? So that's the one thing that I wanted to very, very briefly add here at the end, and quickly come back to Nathan, perhaps circle back. Is there anything that you would like to, fill in some holes or something that you noticed that we haven't covered collectively yet?
Just to add to what has already been said, it is another approach you can think about to this topic for investors is approach it as the elephant in the room. Do you know what I mean by that?
yeah.
So this is a case where, as Claudio just smartly said, it's a very crowded market. Travel, finding travel, bookings, it's a very crowded market, even if you don't think it is. But it is in the minds of investors, and it's late in the game too. Like, these websites have been around since 1995 when Yahoo came around. So maybe a little later than that. So this could be another opportunity for you to literally walk into an investor's office and say, we're in the travel business. Oh, why now? Well, this blah, blah. It's like, aren't there enough of them out there already? That's probably what you're thinking. And you can even address it. We're in travel. I know what you're probably thinking. Another travel site? All I need is 3 minutes of your time, and I will prove to you that what we're doing is unique, different, and worth the time to explore. When you do it like that, it's like the investor can't argue with you. They got to say, okay, prove it, right? Rather than, here's Johnny, he wants to go to Venice, and Venice is this wonderful place, and now I'm feeling Venice, but I don't feel your problem, right? So you did a great job hooking me in with feelings, but they weren't really related to your solution, except in your case, they really were. It really was. All I'm doing here is suggesting that maybe with investors, you literally say, hey, look, we're doing something unique and different in the travel world. Maybe you do it that way. Maybe you don't make a promise. You say, we are doing something very unique and different in the travel world, especially as it relates to tours. Take a look at this, right? Mm-hmm. And we're the only ones that are able to do this, this, and this, because not only do we take all the public data that's available, the API available data, but then we pile on top of it our secret sauce and our algos and blah, blah, blahs and blah, blah, blahs. And that's how you amplify readily public data that we can get without you. Just takes more time, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can spend more time on your product and less time on the problem. What else? I didn't understand what you meant when you said buyers to go away. When you said that, I think you meant buyers to go on holiday, go on vacation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it sounded like buyers, get the hell away from my application, go away. It's just cultural language.
Yeah, and my English, of course.
No problem. Other than that, Massimo, come back again in a couple of weeks when we have a slot. Let's see where this goes, because you're on the right track to pitching to investors, but there's some real important items that if you just nail them down a little tighter, you'll be able to turn that monologue into a dialogue much faster.
No, absolutely. My plan is to show this video to my partners in the company, and so that we can, put all the ideas together and make a version 2.0 of that, and actually use it, in real life.
So getting back to why did you actually invest in TripGuided.com? I mean, what were the bells and whistles that got you involved?
Well, my investment was in the job developing the website, basically.
Okay.
I'm the software guy for that.
Do you know why they did it? Why did the founders?
The thing is, really, they said that it's, as I said at the beginning, the market is full of comparison for tickets, for hotels, but not for tours and activities. So there was it's not so crowded with aggregators for tours. And so trying to be the first, or at least one of the first ones.
Okay, so that's a good answer about why they might have come up with. But let me follow up on Scotty's question, Marco. Why did you decide to put your valuable time into this? What was it that you said, oh yeah, sure, that's worth my time? Because I know you are very careful about your time.
Yeah, because it's one of I don't want to sound too, attached to money, but it's one of the things that if it starts good, and it can provide you with a lot of money doing basically nothing.
All right, honest answer. So Marco, we have 2 minutes left. I just want to very briefly ask you, how did it feel to be on the other side today? How did it feel to be in the zone? And what did you get out of it?
Well, it's beautiful. I didn't know what to expect, even though I was, I've been a regular since the beginning. And it's totally, great. So many ideas and things that as I told you before, I sincerely didn't know how to improve it, because from my experience, I have no clue how to improve it. But right now, I could spend weeks just to improve it using your precious advices. So really happy. And I will feel so way better next week when I can go back on the other side. But I look forward to be on this side again in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And with that, we have actually reached the end of our 30-minute slot. I want to thank you, Marco, very much for taking the spot in the zone. I want to thank Hai for coming back and providing value as well. Nathan, Scotty, as always, totally appreciated. And I look forward to seeing all of you next week, same place, same time. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.